Phones offers free specialized phones like cordless phones, big button and volume enhanced phones. Get details on the state program. Visit californiaphones.org right now.
All right, it's January 2nd, 2021. P.O.C. as it is at all times. I'm currently at third-party facilitating venue Coin Laundry, located on San Antonio Boulevard inside of Ontario Village Shopping Plaza. After completing a purchase at third-party facilitating venue Stater Brothers, inside of the same shopping plaza where the State's Fake Sun, as I'm completing my purchase at, that is 8:03 a.m., the State's Fake Sun over the parking lot. And as I am here at third-party facilitating venue Coin Laundry in the same plaza, this plaza is on the, what would be the west side of the same plaza along San Antonio. The State's Fake Sun in the same position it was the last time I was at this venue at 8:03 in the morning. I'm sorry, well, it is currently 8:50 when I captured the picture. I took a picture of it because this is exactly what I'm talking about. You have the State's Fake Sun just yesterday, what I've already published and documented, and this which I have already established. This is just ongoing reiteration of the same stalking conduct by light, which is monitoring and demonic by the state of California over and over and over again. It is 8:50 a.m. where the State's Fake Sun is directly over the top of this building, and I just captured it at 10:50 a.m. yesterday morning over the museum. Oh, go ahead. These are third parties creating activity around me as they are aware of everything that I'm documenting. As you recall, while I'm documenting Stater Brothers inside of its bathroom, third parties do the same thing. They come in and create a substantial amount of activity in addition to the state. That's the pattern of conduct while they are aware of everything that I'm documenting. So anyway, it's audible activity, by the way, relevant position, it's monitoring, and it is also that which is a demonstration of hostility to documentation. It's 8:55 a.m. and yes, I did capture a picture of the State's Fake Sun. It is well before 10:52, where the State's Fake Sun is behind this location. And by behind, if you know the natural migration of the sun as it is orbiting around the Earth, that would be rising in the east and sets in the west. Okay, this is common sense. You don't even have to go deep into science or anything like that. This is common sense, basic knowledge, 5th grade science. Okay, it is 8:03. Where it is, the State's Fake Sun is over me at the Stater Brothers parking lot at 646 West Holt. That is west of the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where I captured it yesterday at 10:52 a.m. directly above me, where I remained at that venue. Where it was also then again at 12:30, around 12:30 p.m. over the same venue, Stater Brothers, and then it was again backwards east over me at Ontario Town Square for a series of hours, not moving until I captured video after 4 p.m. of its blatant stalking and demonic activity, which I've already established, so the state might as well have just kept it there. This point has already been proven. This is ongoing documentation showing that the state is engaged in ceaseless monitoring, and why federal law is necessary, federal legislation that has never addressed a public entity engaging in what is egregious, oppressive, I would say obsessive, hovering, that of a psychopath level of stalking, and that is because it is monitoring. And it is monitoring in concert with the people of the state of California. And so inside of this laundry, what you have inside of this laundromat is third parties engaging in bathroom monitoring, sitting on the bench. This will be seen on the security cameras inside while I'm inside of the bathroom in relevant position. Excuse me. And what you have is them engaging in the same behavioral patterns. What you have is them waiting for me to exit the bathroom, going to the washing machine that they know that I'm already going to go to use. It is the cheapest one. It is the one that I have used routinely. You literally have a group stalker who waits, just like they wait as I enter into any venue, just like they wait as I am walking outside past any intersection, any street. They are literally inside waiting for me to arrive at the washing machine that I already surveyed upon entering the venue, and they use the washing machine right next to me. This is a means of being present. This is a means of stalking with activity. This is a means of literally being in the path. This is stalking inside of a venue. Understand this with regard to the criminal elements of monitoring. And this while the state is stalking with its light, okay? This is the significance as well as of everything I'm documenting, what third parties are doing inside of any venue By the way, P.O.C. is not limited or isolated to the inside of the venue. I am showing how I'm revealing how inside of any venue, wherever you are at, the behavioral pattern is identical. And this is amongst strangers, okay? This speaks to a system. This speaks to a behavioral pattern attributed to the public entity that is monitoring with communication devices in concert with all the people around in your immediate surroundings. And that's the P.O.C. So this is Coin Laundry on San Antonio and it's 8:58 a.m. in P.O.C. Right now, third party goes into the bathroom. He's just sitting in there listening to me monitor, uses the hand dryer, and is exiting. Now it's P.O.C. and it's on the cameras. Everything they are doing is monitoring. That's why the state is engaged in, unheard of, incredible stalking conduct with planes and helicopters and police, fire, and ambulance, because that is what the state is consumed with. And that is what every single person around me is consumed with everywhere that I go. That is all that they're doing, and everything that they are doing is serving that criminal purpose. And it's 8:59 a.m., and that is the P.O.C. Excuse me, this is Erica Lorraine Spencer. This is P.O.C. The state is engaged in that which I've already documented inside of this venue, literally flashing large white bars of light onto the wall that is right next to where I'm standing under the TV by the bathroom. They're all monitoring. I'm going to go through and document third parties that are in relevant positions. 7 Zebra Uncle Jack 059, 8 FOD 862, 6416 183, 6 WJL 610, 7 KCV 991, 7 LZP 002, 6 XCJ 153, 7 R40521, excuse me, 8 DZH 546. They're also stalking with activity, so inside of the laundromat, that takes the form of them slamming the doors of the dryers in alignment to me repeatedly over and over and over again, making all kind of noise. This is a paper plate AC88D12 on a black Honda Civic. And the state's fake sun, now brighter and more vibrant at 9:17 a.m. over this venue, which is beyond where the museum is. I'm gonna go ahead and get another picture of this because it's just alrighty. 9:17 a.m. directly over the venue, and the state in directing impossible light activity, meaning it is that which is never naturally occurring at all whatsoever. It is by necessity that which the state is directing, aiming, pointing into the venue, onto the surface right next to where I'm standing. This is how you know what every third party around you is doing. That's how a public entity monitors you. And those are third parties that are documented in relevant position and monitoring with the state, and it's on cameras inside of the venue. P.O.C. It is currently 9:18 a.m. a.m. Third-party group stalkers trying to break into the bathroom. Now understand they're monitoring me. So what they're doing is they're listening to me put on my clothing, and as I'm doing that, they begin banging on the door. First of all, it's open, only accessible with the key card that the employee has, and second of all, they do it with simultaneity to what I am doing, which is putting on my clothing, and I'm pulling it over my person while I am in the midst of trying to get it over my head. So I'm in the midst of like a new unfamiliar movement, and they begin trying to break into the bathroom. This is bathroom monitoring, by the way, while they're in relevant position, while the state is aiming live inside of the bathroom. This is also on the cameras inside of the venue. It's P.O.C. and it is also a violation, group sexual assault and battery. So I did take images of the third parties that are crowded around the bathroom. They are monitoring, listening in real time to what I'm doing inside of the bathroom, engaging and breaking into the bathroom for the purposes of creating activity. Okay, so third parties are aware of my presence. They're engaging in group conduct of listening to me, creating activity around, and that includes feigning breaking into the bathroom. They're not really trying to break into the bathroom. They're actually creating audible activity by banging on the door, acting as though they are ignorant that I am in here. They are monitoring with the state. Again, the state's fake sun is over this building. The state is directing light onto the wall next to where I am sitting, as I have already documented before, in large shadows, directed light inside of the venue. The state's fake sun remaining present all day into the evening. This is P.O.C. And this is also that which is accompanying ongoing monitoring conduct. And so that is P.O.C. So now you have them who are listening to me document, knocking on the door as though they are genuinely ignorant. This is all P.O.C. And it is demonic activity. Yeah. Yeah, they were trying to break in. I'm in here. I'm coming out. I told them already.
Thank you, okay?
Thank you. No problem. That's audible activity. That's P.O.C. by the same employee that's also monitoring. Okay, they're engaging in this. I understand this is all audible activity. So he's engaging in knocking on the door and communicating, oh, they need to use the bathroom, as a means of, not only is that monitoring, it's audible activity, understand that they're monitoring, but it is also pursuant to their real-time knowledge of what I am documenting about their criminal conduct. That's what that is. Understand that. So when I'm speaking about ongoing monitoring and what is also demonic activity, i.e. malicious, by people who are acting, engaging with the public entity and also engaging in real-time knowledge of their being documented. And it is 10:10 a.m. That is sexual group assault battery attributed to Coin Laundry at San Antonio and inside of the, I'm sorry, I'm looking at this phone while I'm documenting more than one thing at one time. It's 10:11 a.m. and this is Coin Laundry on San Antonio inside of the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza. And let's be clear, that is P.O.C., okay? The same behavioral pattern with simultaneity to my movement inside. While I'm tugging on my hood or pulling it over my head, they begin creating this activity, beating on the door. This is also documented inside of third-party facilitating venue Starbucks. They would routinely engage in, and Stater Brothers as well, routinely engage in what was third parties who are monitoring engage in then beating on the bathroom door when it clearly is showing that it was occupied. First of all, that's another thing with Starbucks. It clearly showed that it was occupied on the outside. Secondly, they are monitoring with real-time knowledge of what I was doing, listening to me use the bathroom, listening to my every movements, mirroring my activities while they're monitoring, while the state was flying over Starbucks, while the state is directing light inside of Starbucks, while those third-party group stalkers were aiming light onto me. It was all manner of demonic activity inside of Starbucks, and that is the Starbucks at right across the street from Stater Brothers, and that's P.O.C., and this is what they're doing now. It is the same conduct, and this is conduct that they engage in. This is the follow-up of the knocking on the door saying, oh, someone needs to use the bathroom. Not only is this ongoing monitoring, but it is that which he communicates to me after he is listening to me document what is bathroom monitoring. So understand that. Irrespective of that, that's just context. All three elements are present, remain present, and that is the same behavioral pattern. I just want to go ahead and document that. That's attributed to Coin Laundry while they're monitoring me, and their third-party patrons engaging in banging on the door while they're monitoring me. And that is harassment, that is sexual group assault and battery while I'm in a private space. And all elements are present, including the state's fake sun over this building, and the state directing light onto my person, onto my property, onto the wall all around me, just like it does outside everywhere that I'm at. They're monitoring, and they're monitoring me in the bathroom. That's P.O.C. It's 10:13 a.m. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. at Coin Laundry where they are monitoring. I'm going to go ahead and get all the license plates. We got a third party with a bald head and khaki pants and a burgundy hoodie at the opposite end of the parking lot in relevant position with a communication device monitoring. This is also upon my exit of the bathroom. You have them after I document audibly, and again, they're listening to everything that I say. So what third parties do is make an issue out of my being in the bathroom as the cause for the beating on the door with simultaneity to what they were listening to me do. It's P.O.C. It's the exact same behavioral pattern. There's also a sign on the door that says that the bathroom is broken. And not only that, it's got a keypad on it. So banging on the door is not in any way going to open it for these third-party patrons, first of all. And second of all, they are engaged in beating on the door as they are listening to me as I'm putting on my hoodie. So that's with regard to what I was doing, putting clothing on and struggling with putting on my my hoodie at that time in the bathroom. That's the behavioral pattern. It was a new movement. It was like an unfamiliar movement, and they start beating on the door. Context is, as they are engaged in monitoring and aware of what I'm documenting audibly, then they make it an issue. Oh, you've been in the bathroom for so long, and he needs to use the bathroom, where in the first place, he should have been the one that would have told them the bathroom is occupied. He's the one that has access to open it, all right? And so as he is aware, as they are aware that I'm documenting the fact that they're monitoring me in the bathroom, then he follows up and knocks on the door, where in the first place, they never would have been able to get into the bathroom anyway. I'm just giving you the reason. This is how third-party group stalkers act in concert together, providing what is irrelevant, legally irrelevant, first of all, because they're monitoring. All elements remain. That's P.O.C. The state's fake sun is beaming over me right now, over this venue. And it is still, it's 10:20. It's still not even 10:52 a.m. where it was directly over me at the museum yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. 8 FOD 862, crossing path under the state's fake sun while they are monitoring while I'm inside of coin laundry. This is Suite 658, I as in igloo. And so this is harassment while they're engaging in monitoring with communication devices. The state is flying over right now audibly. That's amplification of plane activity. And this is on San Antonio. So understand, with regard to the locations of everywhere that I'm at, not only is this an entirely different direction, this is mutually exclusive to being at its position as I captured it, as I documented the state's fake sun over the museum, being directly over this building for, again, now it's 8, that was at 8. After 8 a.m., it's 10:21, and it's still over the same building. So this is P.O.C. I am also speaking to that, which is how third parties are not only aware of what I'm documenting, how they engage in group conduct, okay? And this is providing context, creating an issue for purposes of knowledge that I'm documenting them. But I want to show not only are they engaged in group conduct, it is legally irrelevant when you're talking about monitoring. They're engaging in criminal monitoring, and they're engaging in that which is sexual group assault and battery, monitoring me while I'm in the bathroom inside of a private space. And then while they're aware that I'm documenting the fact that they're engaged in that criminal and sexually violent conduct, while they're listening to me and my movements inside of the bathroom, then they engage in creating a legally irrelevant narrative, which is, oh, you've been in the bathroom for so long, so he needs to use the bathroom, where in the first place, like I said, there's a sign on the bathroom door that says broken. So there's assumption that they can even get in with a keypad. They can't. You cannot just knock on the door. How do you know that someone's even in there? Why are you banging on the door? They are not the ones with the ability to access the bathroom, first of all. So the employee should have been the one that would have let them know, first of all, someone's in the bathroom. This is just common sense. I'm just breaking it down, and I'm just showing you how third parties act in concert as one group. And regardless of that, understand that it is criminal monitoring, period. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of the state's fake sun that's remaining over this building, and I'm going to go ahead and also document all the license plates that are in relevant position. Oh, you've got Ontario Police arriving, 1451828, number 1829, lights on the vehicles. License plate 64161A3, license plate 77BF584. This is a third party engaging in criminal facilitation with this officer who's engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. Traffic stop right here in front of me, in front of coin laundry while the plane is flying over. This is P.O.C. And let me get a picture of that. This is what Ontario Police does. This is what the police do, period. And it is P.O.C. It is 10:23 a.m. Plane flying right over my head. Third party surround, and Ontario Police right here with lights. That's federal group stalking. Okay, it's 10:33 a.m. and I just want to reiterate what I've already stated in a video, but I have more than one form of documentation, and images and video do accompany my podcast, which is real-time documentation, but I want to state it on here as well audibly to be clear. What I documented in video with regard to Ontario Police immediately arriving directly in front of me under the state's fake sun over San Antonio coin laundry inside of the Ontario Village shopping plaza, while I'm in the midst of documenting third-party criminal activity, that is federal group stalking and monitoring, while the state is flying over at the same time that Ontario Police turn around the corner with lights on their vehicles, no siren sounds. The third party immediately stops right in front of me while I'm documenting. The Ontario Police vehicles have their, Ontario Police vehicle has its lights on, that's light activity right in front of me, at the same second that the state flies directly over my head in the same parking lot. That's federal group stalking and monitoring, light activity.
visible activity, audible activity via plane, and relevant positioning. That's the ongoing stalking by the police directly, stalking by the state by aircraft directly, and I want to be clear, that is the exact same pattern of conduct that Ontario police engaged in on January 13, 2020, where I was at 7-Eleven, and Ontario police feigning a traffic stop, and by the way, Ontario police, that stop was less than 2.5 seconds. Stops and right in front of me for purposes of monitoring, because that's all that it is. The person being stopped is the third-party group stalker. The person stopping is the public entity representing the state, engaging in criminal facilitation of monitoring, and engaging in monitoring directly via police while the plane is flying over my head. That's exactly what happened on January 13th, and that's what I documented in pictures, the plane flying over 7-Eleven, and then I captured the license plate of that state acting directly, which was the license plate of Ontario Police Jason Knighton and L. Keys at Vine and G Street at 6:40 p.m., where the plane activity and police presence, the same exact pattern of conduct. And then they engaged in kidnapping while I'm documenting their criminal activity. That was federal group stalking and monitoring on January 13th, followed by kidnapping and false allegations, followed by a fictitious prosecution. And that is federal group stalking and monitoring today that I documented, where Ontario police stopped for about 3 seconds while the plane flies over, monitoring, and criminal facilitation of monitoring by third-party group stalkers. These are not series of coincidental ongoings over and over and over again. It is P.O.C, as I've already established. That is the pattern of conduct of the public entity that's monitoring, and does so while I'm in the midst of documenting P.O.C at yet another third-party facilitating venue, that is Coin Laundry, at San Antonio, while the state's fake son is present directly over that venue in a mutually exclusive position to that which I documented it less than 24 hours. It's still not even 24 hours ago. It's at 8 a.m. when I purchased my food at Stater Brothers, where the state's fake son is already over the parking lot, whereas I captured it squarely in front of me over this parking lot in the same position at 12:30 yesterday, which was January 1st, 2021. Today is January 2nd, 2021. Because I am at Stater Brothers, the state's fake son is at Stater Brothers, and then I go to Coin Laundry, which runs north and south, the state's fake son, directly over that building, at that angle of the building, and that is where I captured it at 10:52 a.m. I mean, there is no other way to put it. That is mutually exclusive to where I just captured it at 10:52 a.m. in the morning at the Museum of History and Arts at Euclid Avenue. Understand that. And this is while the state engages in arriving via police and flying over my head in airplane at the same time. While the state's fake son is documented in mutually exclusive and impossible, scientifically impossible positions, because the sun is not in any of these addresses. This is the state stalking with light, literally placing a light source that is supposed to be some sort of fake sun, while third-party group stalkers are surrounding and stalking with activity and stalking with their presence with this entity. All right, that's P.O.C. And all you have to do is pay attention to the documentation, because it has already been laid out. And just within 24 hours, yet again, I am showing you how Tracy Banks was monitoring and criminally threatening while she was engaged in criminal defamation as well. Yesterday at Ontario Town Square, where the state's fake son remained there all day long after being at the museum, then after being at the Stater Brothers, then going back toward the Ontario Town Square where I was, remaining all day long. All right. She was monitoring then. They are all monitoring now. The state stalking with light is the conclusive evidence of all of that. All right. Why does a public entity stalk with a fake sun? That is light. It's concentrated light, because they are monitoring with communication devices. Why is police presence coinciding with airplanes flying directly over me? Because it is monitoring, and because they are psychopaths. Because they are under that same demonic oppression and engaging in criminally monitoring an American citizen and engaging in that which is that of a psychopath stalker to do so. That's exactly why. And engaging in extremely criminally desperate conduct in order to conceal it, such as kidnapping, like Jason Knighton and L. Keys did on January 13th, 2020, having no right whatsoever to touch me, let alone to arrest me. All right, that is P.O.C. And it's 10:39 a.m. And we're just gonna wait around till 10:52, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a picture of the state's fake sun over here because I captured a picture of the state's fake sun directly over the museum yesterday, January 1st, 2020, just to make my point. My point is already made, but like I said, these demons, and for the purpose of showing how there is absolutely no argument whatsoever, no common sense response. There is no legitimate claim. This is Ontario Police crossing path again, driving west on Hope Boulevard with lights on their vehicles as they're listening to me document the fact that they are psychopath stalkers who are monitoring me, because that's what that is. Just like the third-party group stalkers were listening to me document the fact that they're perverts listening to me in the bathroom, and then they engage in repeatedly stating, oh, so you've been in the bathroom for a long time, you need to use the bathroom. They're monitoring, and they're aware of the fact. So they're engaging in that conduct. That's what Ontario Police are doing right now. So we're going to wait around until 10:52. Okay, because the fake sun being over the museum at 10:52 a.m. and then 24 hours later being directly over the coin laundry and directly over the Stater Brothers. So this would be what, 12:30? The state's fake sun is. Do you see where I'm going? I don't have to follow that through all the way. It is impossible light activity. That's why I have termed it as such. Okay, and it is asinine, criminally desperate and pathetic conduct, but it is that which is incredibly threatening because the targeted individual, is subject to stalking by a government because it is monitoring and doing so in concert with the people that surround. Listening in concert in real time to everything that you're saying, listening to your very breathing pattern, listening and aware of the direction of your vision. That's how closely they're stalking and hovering over you, all right? That is that of a psychopath. While they are seeking to conduct themselves as they are normal, and they are not. Everything about a fake sun stalking and police stalking and airplane and helicopter stalking and using every manner of noise activity at the same time that you are engaging in any manner of activity or change or any gesture of thereof, that is not normal. That is not normal whatsoever. And this is the invisible influence of demonic activity acting over an expansive group of people, including the police. Okay, and this is the government engaging in what is a satanic targeting system, and it is criminal, fully and subject to prosecution in a federal court, and that which is to be written into federal law. This is what they're doing inside of Stater Brothers. This is what they're doing in the parking lot of Stater Brothers. This is what they're doing inside of Starbucks. This is what they're doing inside of coin laundering in the parking lots of each venue. This is what they're doing on the streets and on the freeways. This is what they're doing inside of their homes. This is what they're doing when they're sitting in their cars, listening to me say every word that they utter, seeking to create some sort of normal external appearance for what is stalking conduct on behalf of a public entity that's flying over the same place in an airplane and helicopters with a fake sun, okay? This is demented conduct, demented and shared by a group. That's what I'm documenting. Every single venue will be prosecuted as such. It is 10:42 a.m. Ontario Police lights activity, driving past, crossing path under the fake sun about 4 minutes ago. That's about 10:38 a.m. Ontario Police with lights on their vehicles with a third-party group stalker. I want to get this one because he was engaged in monitoring me in the bathroom this morning. Good morning. Hi. What's your name? Wes? Yeah. Oh, you work here, don't you? Yes, I do. Oh, I think I saw you this morning at 7:45 a.m. Okay. Got you. That's Wes. He was engaged in bathroom monitoring inside of Stater Brothers this morning at around 7:45 a.m. inside of the bathroom in the men's restroom, mirroring activity that is with simultaneity to what I am doing inside of the bathroom while I'm brushing my teeth inside of the Stater Brothers bathroom. He starts the air dryer, which is activity that the state is amplifying through the walls of the bathroom, as I showed you, as I published with regard to the state's use of amplification of sound. The air dryer even heard while I'm in the depths of the store, while I'm standing in line. That's how ridiculous the state is with regard to amplification. And it is not any matter of rocket science to demonstrate how the air dryer, the hand dryer, is not ordinarily heard, let alone throughout the store, but also not through the walls inside of the bathroom. And in addition to that, he is engaging in creating that activity that is amplified with simultaneity to my activity inside of the women's restroom. As he is engaging in that, the door immediately opens. So it is presumably him who's drying his hands and walks out of the restroom. That's third-party employee of that venue, heavily documented, engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, Wes. as I'm crossing paths. I just want to bring that up because I documented that this morning as well while I was at Stater Brothers when I completed my purchase at around 8:03 a.m. And the State's Fake Sun was over the parking lot. State's Fake Sun over this same venue. That's P.O.C. Stater Brothers is a sex offender. Understand that? That's quite the contradictory message that they would seek to have revealed with regard to their quote-unquote family-themed image that they present. They're engaged in monitoring an American citizen, even while they are engaged in monitoring while in any private space such as the bathroom, listening to the targeted individual, myself, use the bathroom, remove my clothes, while I'm engaged in any movement in that private space. That is sexually perverted, predatory conduct that they are all doing together. That is an employee named West doing it today at 7:45 a.m. He's seen on camera walking out of the hallway. This is third-party license plate 8JGX824. Crossing path. It's 10:45. State's Fake Sun squarely over this plaza right over Coin Laundry. Next to Demoda, next to Dulceria, Miss Donuts is at the corner. This is San Antonio, cross street is B Street, where the State's Fake Sun is directly over this venue, and they're all monitoring. Excuse me, third parties use their vehicles in the manner that you just heard. That serves the same criminal purpose as the state using their sirens to create audible activity while I'm engaged in motion, keeping surrounded with activity. This is group monitoring. Federal group stalking and monitoring. (10:46 a.m.) Paper plate AT10R87, 8ETU684. Third-party group stalker still sitting in his car. Another third-party group stalker sitting in their car. 6XAP356. The same 16RVT221. Mind you, the State's Fake Sun is directly over them, right where we're at. This is impossible light activity. This is why the state stalks with a fake sun, because they're monitoring. License 5SK J051 6HEE 467 8NEC 586 4MEH 504 6LQJ 05 6LQJ05. I'm guessing you can't see the rest of it. 6LQJ105. Yeah, there you go. Okay. License plate 4GDG609. Let's see, I got that one already. 7TUX495, 7BTR673, 7AET924, 7YZR142, 7FMC652, 8CBK925, 8DBE913, 7WGK698, 6DIH533, the same license that I got earlier, 99912J2, 7C1, 7620. Can literally walk around and just document their license plates, because everywhere you go, monitoring is underway. This is why the state is stalking everywhere that I go with a light source for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. That it even expands beyond here, where I'm documenting them by license plate. Inside of every venue, on the streets, in their private residences, in Starbucks, at Tom's Burgers, at El Pollo Loco, at the Golden Bear Hotel, this entire plaza, they're all monitoring. All of them. See, 4SXH 842, going right ahead. 7KRX 529, And forgive me if I am reciting more than one. I'm just making sure I don't miss one. So it's better that I duplicate it, reciting it more than once. Or sometimes actually they engage in stalking, that is coming into the path more than one time, and they're documented more than once in that manner as well. So be aware of that too. This is literally stalking conduct by a group. It is currently 10:49 a.m. We're almost at 10:52. I just want to get this because it's a point. We've got group stalkers, some heavy ones, sitting in their cars stalking. 8 CDT 938, 7 LXV 356, 4 SUT 986. Let me see, 7 JSC 496. There goes the plane as soon as I make a turn around the corner, going in a different direction, stalking with activity. That's what third parties do as well. That's P.O.C. I'm gonna get a picture of that. Oh, there they go. All right, so what that is the state stalking with activity, as it is literally watching me, monitoring me, my movements. Like I said, they're all monitoring with that entity that remains over me by plane. As I make that turn around the parking lot, around the corner, in a different direction, plane immediately flies over coin laundry in relevant position. Understand it with simultaneity, seconds, as I am turning the corner. That is POC, okay? And that's exactly what third parties do, stalking with activity. 7CZT 625. 46447Z2, 5 CRM 481, 4 WOG 777. It's 10:51 a.m. All right, it is 10:52 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and get an image of the state's fake send. Third-party group stalkers that surround, monitoring, all of them monitoring. 8 JRU 606, walking around, driving past as I'm standing around using my phone. The other one that walked past with the bald head, and now he's coming and doing the same thing, walking past to the brick wall, because I'm over here monitoring. He was doing the same thing, standing under the covering as I was walking around the corner, POC. It's 10:52 a.m. Get a picture of the state's fake sun right here over the coin laundry. Okay? This is just to complete my documentation of this particular venue. That's federal group stalking and monitoring. 10:52 a.m. the state's fake sun directly over the museum. And 10:52 a.m. under even this location right here that I just captured it at this angle, at this location over this venue right here at Coin Laundry is mutually exclusive to the location and placement of it directly in front of me at the east entrance of Stater Brothers at 12:30 a.m. as well. Understand that, okay? This is common sense. It's POC 6YKN179. Amplification of the train while I'm moving. Understand that's the same thing as a plane flying over, amplification. Same thing as police stalking with their sirens. Same thing. They're monitoring as I'm moving with the state's fake sun directly over my head. That is POC. 10:53 a.m. Eight DBE 913, 5 SSU 158, 8 KDR 142. 6FY966, 6YKD334, 832 NUG, that's a handicap, I'm sorry, not a handicap, that is a, well, I think it's a handicap plate but it's covered up with some sticker. It's 832 NUG, or they're covering up the first letter with a sticker. It is a white Prius. 8 RIC 597, 8 KZD 331, 7 PTY 820, 8 HKW 254, 7 YL 107, 8 AJG 199, 8 FTN 607, 4 CUB 430. It's 10:55 a.m. and I want to show you something. Here's a state's fake sun at 10:53 a.m. while you've got an employee in relevant position. Right here, in the same position that I captured it at 12:30 a.m. yesterday. Impossible. You've got an employee in here, right in alignment to me. Let's let this third party open the door. There they go. Right in a relevant position. He's monitoring. It's P.O.C. 10:56. State's fake sun in the same location that it was at 12:30 as I exited that venue. That's P.O.C. Okay? That's what I mean by real-time migration. That position, impossible with the state's angle of position over coin laundry. Okay? In addition to the other mutually exclusive aspects of this positioning of the state's fake sun. That is P.O.C. And that completes my my whole day with regard to showing the state stalking with light. That is entirely unnatural and that of a psychopath. 7WL 107. I didn't really get that whole thing. 5 ATP 302. 5 WHB 975. 6 T SL 675. 6 VYG 535. Understand the reason why the state stalks with a fake sun, regardless of how idiotic it is in their tactics, how unintelligent, how unsophisticated, how asinine it is. The reason why it does so is because all these people that I'm documenting are around me, they're monitoring, okay? Monitoring with communication devices. Light is key to that. This is why the state molests with light. This is why the state engages in light all over the surfaces around me as these group stalkers crossing path, meaning driving past, riding past, walking past, running past. This is why. 8 KZE334, 6 P34480, 7 VLJ510. On Hope Boulevard, they're patrolling back and forth in traffic. Over here at this habit that's in construction, they're monitoring. 8 AJG 199, I believe I got that one already, but 6S VW220. They're all monitoring over here at this habit. Understand, they're in relevant position. They are engaged in monitoring and using any means of also the same criminal conduct. There is no exception or exclusion. This is how a public entity monitors. This is how they do it. It's through their very presence. Everything that they're doing is going to facilitate the state's criminal systems. POC. 7 BVT 616, 8138T. I'm sorry, 81387D1. I don't think I got this license plate. 8HRU 397. Five WHB 975. 6 PTK 925. I think I read that one already. You got a little habit over here in construction. Third party group stalker comes down this path as I'm walking. 7 LRP 536. License plate 8H23081. This looks like some sort of paper plate dated February 18, 2021, 1994 GMC 96249J3, license plate 7V45989, license 7JWN 5218ETP 617 6WLH 318 4GOY 971. I want you to be clear. Make sure you take a good gander at my picture of the State's fake son over Stater Brothers. After I complete my purchase, I'm walking out of the east entrance. It's squarely over that door, and at 10:53 a.m., that's exactly what I just took a picture of. The State's fake son in the exact same position 2 hours before that. 6VXB207, 7EWZ 891. And why is that fake son present? When I say it migrates everywhere I go, that's exactly what I mean. I mean everything that I say. I am literally saying exactly what the state is engaged in. 7GSS068, 6AST513, 8NFB477, 4YVS148, 7LRP536. The state flying over by plane, just like it does when I'm inside of Stater Brothers, flying over right now, while I'm outside in the parking lot documenting under its own fake sun, right in alignment, P.O.C. It is 11:01 a.m. 4HCK039. It's 11:01. That is the P.O.C. Very thoroughly documented, especially with regard to the state's stalking with light conduct, and my explanation, my making it clear, clarifying why you would stalk with, and that is stalking, okay? Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring is a monitoring system that is stalking in all manner. You are monitoring, and in order to monitor, you are stalking. You're stalking by group, you're stalking with activity, and you're stalking with light. All right, so as a Stater Brothers employee puts a cart here in alignment, third-party group stalker, patron, right here in front of me, while impossible light activity is on the brick wall, underneath the covering of the wall, okay? As a license plate, that's 5CG, 5CGA266 drives by, impossible light activity, the same that I've already shown, shooting from the parking lot onto the brick wall underneath the covering where the employee is currently right here placing the carts, all right? This is monitoring. That's what I'm saying. This is P.O.C. This is why the state is present. This is why the state is flying over this parking lot, creating cloud paths in the sky over, flying over audibly in commercial airplanes, flying over my head over coin laundry, directing light onto the walls while third-party 8HEX407 drives past. Let me go ahead and give you a picture. I'm gonna give you a picture. Oh, you've already seen where the state's fake sun is, right here over. That's not occurring from sunlight. That's the state stalking with light, creating concentrated light, and this is the state directing light onto the brick wall at the same time that a third-party group stalker is in relevant position. That's keeping me surrounded with light. This is a third party in relevant position. I took a picture of the third party, and I'm taking a picture of the brick wall where light is appearing as this third party group stalker parks in the lot, okay? Impossible light activity, the same identical behavioral pattern everywhere that I go. That's P.O.C. It is 11:03 a.m. Third party facilitating venue, Stater Brothers. All right, 81387D1, 8B09022, 8CIF 839, 8BES 295, 0CEENT. Probably some bootleg wannabe record label. Third-party group stalker on foot. License plate 86129Y2. And I did just complete a purchase inside of Stater Brothers, and that is the fake son at this time in the same position. 6KAH 886, moving around the plaza to be directly over me from on Coin Laundry to over Stater Brothers. 8EJA 546, 8CIF 839, 8GVJ 540, and don't forget, it's going to remain over me where I sit, which is east of this location at Ontario Town Square. 7VLJ 510, 8HVM 724, 6PTK 925, 8KDR 142, 6PSL 445, 5HYM 621, 6KZX 269, 6TSL 675, 8FUB 516. They're monitoring Indeed's discounts, monitoring in La Mexicana and Little Caesars, Elite Shipping, Panda Walk, Nails, Pure Water, Erica's Insurance, Metro by T-Mobile, Subway. They're all monitoring. All of them are monitoring. That's why the state's fake son is literally over me as I'm walking through the parking lot. Okay? 461081, 8GVJ 540, 5XAE 018, 7LYR 645, 7PIB 580, 7DWE 531, 6UYJ 818, 7KWF 108, 6AST 513, which I believe just moved to a different location, 8Y41416, 7YFK 897, 4SJJ 261, 6SVW 220, 6CUA 775. You have 7PYM 257. Again, I'm just getting the ones that are as I'm walking out of the parking lot. I could literally get every single license plate in this venue. I could literally stand on Hope Boulevard. I could literally recite every address, but I'm giving those that are in my path as I'm in motion. Monitoring is occurring with communication devices that spans a radius. 7BGB 392, 7JXM 892, beyond this parking lot. All right, monitoring in Panda Walk. The state engaging in moving its fake son. Now it is directly over me where I stand at Bonita and Holt. It's 11:22 a.m. Right? State's fake son directly over Stater Brothers yesterday at 12:30. Remember that. This is the significance of everything that I'm documenting. This is license plate, crossing path as I use my phone, 83656. State fake son right here at Bonita. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. And I'm going to go ahead and take a picture of a third-party group stalker, Panda Walk employee, maintaining relevant positioning as I'm walking, just like third parties in their cars in relevant position. This is 8FUB 516. I already read that one. They're crossing path now, exiting the parking lot. State's fake son in relevant position in tow, right over my shoulder as I move. And that is captured image over Bonita, not the same position at the entrance doors. Okay, this is a low-hanging, a hovering light source that literally is in motion as I move. Okay. P.O.C. It's 11:23 a.m. 5071 2B2, I believe. 6 MMR 866. 101 MEEE. That's a heart in the front, so it's a heart. 101 MEE. BZ18142, that's an Illinois plate. They're monitoring a La Crosse Smog and Tune. La Crosse Smog and Tune, specifically engaged and documented as engaging in, that would be, legally it would be attempted murder and assault with a deadly weapon as a third-party group stalker driving one of its vehicles, drives past at the same time that I'm documenting police. And I'm writing license plates at this time. And this is last year in late 2019. This is La Crosse Smog and Tune at 546 West Holt Boulevard. And you have one of their employees that speeds past me while I am in the crosswalk. He speeds past without stopping. driving right in front of me at the same time that I am noting the police. So this is the state engaging in P.O.C, the state engaging in the ongoing knowledge of my documentation. You have a third party that is engaging in creating a physical threat to my person on behalf of the state. And it was simultaneous, excuse me, I just made up a word. It was simultaneous action. So the state anticipating my documenting the license plate of that Ontario police vehicle. And as I do so, you have this third party employee of La Crosse Smog and Tune at 546 West Holt Boulevard engaging in the ceaseless pattern of conduct every time I'm over here and they're open. But you have on this particular day, I want to note right now, they're engaged in what is that's attempted murder, okay, using a machine such as a vehicle, and he intentionally created this threat, driving in front of me at a very fast pace without stopping while I am in the crosswalk. I have the right of way, and at the same time also that I'm noting the documentation, the presence of the police. So I don't stop in the middle of the street, I'm walking, but I am visibly observing the license plate of Ontario Police, which again, the state is monitoring me, and so they are aware of the fact that I am documenting this conduct. And so this is a threat vicariously stated on behalf of that police officer, which represents the state in general, a third-party actor engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring and engaging in waging a threat using a car speeding past right in front of me, driving through the walkway as I'm crossing the street, and speeding right past me into this parking lot. And this is at the same time that I am visibly observing the presence of the police, right? That's P.O.C. And that is another example of the criminal teamwork amongst the state and third parties as well. This is again La Crosse Smog and Tune. No different than every other third party, but I just want to take this time and go ahead and expound upon other criminal activity that they have been engaged in. As of right now, you have a third party employee that's patrolling back and forth on a phone in front of me because I'm stopped here in front of their property. And Holt Boulevard at Vine, they're patrolling back and forth. 8 FPC 266. They're all monitoring. They are all monitoring across the street at American Stereo Master, Ontario Village Dental, Dentist. They're in the plaza right out here in the parking lot. They're all monitoring because I have stopped, so they're concentrating their presence right where I'm at. And let me go ahead and take a picture of that because this is what I'm talking about with regard to group stalking. And it is group conduct. It is demonic activity, and it's not a coincidence that the state's fake sun is over the same parking lot. I'm gonna take a picture of that too. It has moved from being directly over at Coin Laundry, being directly over Stater Brothers, being directly over at Bonita. It is directly over this parking lot. It is currently 11:27 a.m. And I am facing the parking lot at 533 East Holt Boulevard. And this is while I'm standing at 546 West Holt, La Crosse Smog and Tune. That's P.O.C. and they're monitoring. You have the state flying directly over in a commercial plane. I'll go ahead and take a picture of that. P.O.C. Understand this skateboarder is creating audible activity next to me while the state is flying over and the state's fake sun is directly over me, which I just captured in a picture. That's P.O.C. and that's group stalking. 8 SLW 503, 7 MVW 918. And since you want to monitor, I'll go ahead and document you. You want to monitor me? I'm going to document you. Plane is flying over me while I'm at this parking lot. 5PZL 611. 8RNW 603. This is the paper plate. AV07MO2. This is some old fire lane with no license plate. It just says 1959. 6KIU 347. And this parking lot that I'm walking through right now, the state's fake sun is directly over it. Understand this is distinct from being in front of the entrance at Stater Brothers. It's distinct from being at the corner over the Coin Laundry. It's distinct from being over me at Bonita. It is literally you are literally able to see how it is in motion, migrating with me, remaining above me as I move. This is a car with no license plate on it. Okay, that's fine. P.O.C. This is American Stereo Master. Monitoring me as I stopped motion to stand in front of 546 West Holt to document, and then they're in the parking lot patrolling around under the state's fake sun while the state is flying directly over in plane. That's P.O.C., the same P.O.C. That's called stalking with activity. That's why I document them. All right, it is currently, let's look at the time. 11:29 a.m. You need to understand being at the traffic lights is a means of monitoring. It's relevant positioning. The state is controlling the lights. License plate 8 EBY 653, 8 LOX 092, 8 LKMs 964, 7 KK PO 60, 8 KUF 934, 8 UFZ 793, 7 YFK. Oh, I can't get that one. That was too far. But I'm also referencing the traffic cameras. 8 LIL 825 P.O.C. They're all monitoring. I am at Vine and Holt Boulevard. This is monitoring as I'm in motion. 8 PQT 445, 5 NNG 504, 7 HBE 744, 6 PF9 178, 8 W97329, 7 MFR 124, LILLIE 8 MMY 071, UVB 788, that's an out of 7883, UVB 7883, that's an out of state plate. This is 8 TPA 113, 8 MYY 774. Now be clear, any repeats is because these are the same third parties that are crossing path again, because I have left the venue. So this would not be a matter of me repeating them because I'm walking past the same place. This is them crossing path again. And I want to make sure I stress that. 8W81955, 8 HIL 654. That's the same one, Carthy. I already documented them at American Stereo. This is 8HS. Go back. This is a third party at the light right here at Emporia Place, 121 South Vine. This is license plate 8 HPE 079, and I'm also referencing the traffic cameras. And right here in alignment where this third party is in the turning lane, there's a small white plane flying directly in alignment. P.O.C. stalking with planes, and it is much too small to see on a camera, but it's right here at the corner at First Christian Church. I'm looking straight up above the church. There's a small white plane, not a commercial sized plane. That's a government plane that the state stalks with, and I've already documented this conduct, and it is flying at a higher elevation while they are surrounding with audible activity. Okay, the state is stalking, flying parallel to the same direction that I'm walking, and that's POC. This is also why you document third parties that are in relevant position. 6Y66848, 8MPZ 157. Traffic is at a standstill. State's fake sun right here at Sunkist and Holt. Moving with me. 8EXG 063, 6KTF 924, 6PRW 473, 6LZB 570, 5WOG 777, 5TY U209, I believe, 6AAX 557, 4610A1, 4610, I'm sorry, 46010A1. There we go. POC 5KUL 628, 7EFVS 601, I believe. 6HSR 664, 5TYU 209, 8AKR 620, 17589K2, 7RUS 410, 7JUK 253, 7RTU 330, 7W10081, 4RFC290. These are just third parties monitoring as they're crossing path in traffic. This is systematic monitoring by a public entity. Systematic. 8HSD951, 8MCV224, 4YPE339, 7TZ T361, 5G58, 6. Oh, I can't see that one. 7RPET723, something substantially similar to that. 8MCV224. Alrighty. And it is 11:35. I'm gonna go ahead and
catch a picture of the state's fake sun right here at Emporia Place at the corner of Vine and Holt. This is the state's fake sun moving with me because they are all monitoring. This is the state fake sun right here. P.O.C. Now this is as I am walking east on Holt Boulevard. Understand the state was captured westward of this location at a later time, yesterday, after 12:30 p.m. Okay, this is how you know a public entity is engaged in monitoring, when there's stalking with light, and the most incredible, and that of a psychopath with a literal fake sun. All right, that's P.O.C. It is 11:36 a.m. and I did take a picture of that. The state stalking with light, moving with me, remaining over me as I'm walking now east back toward Ontario Town Square, just like yesterday, from the museum to Stater Brothers, back to Ontario Town Square, and the state's fake sun remaining directly over me the whole time. All that the state is concerned with is monitoring. That is it. That is it. And every single last person around, regardless of what their job is, when they are in relevant position, they are monitoring as they're doing whatever their job is. Monitoring is ceaseless. And everything they are doing is that which is obsessively concerned with that. Obsessively concerned with that. And understand that that's intentional conduct by a demon-possessed third-party group stalker who is currently driving east on Holt. And they'll be seen at the traffic cameras. It's in a blue truck, and it's 11:37 a.m. This is license plate 7EKY569, a black Suburban that is also driving east on Holt Boulevard. This is the same group. And understand, when I am at the museum at night sleeping, that's what they're doing, and that's what the traffic cameras do not catch. They engage in that stalking activity conduct as I am laying down sleeping, engaging in any movements. And it is intentional activity creation while they are listening, right? That's the demonic feature. The ability to create activity with simultaneity to what I am doing. That's what the state does via sirens, planes and helicopters, and amplification of all activity, right? They'll amplify the sound of a train at the drop of a dime. They'll engage in amplifying a third party revving their engine. They'll engage in the sound of amplifying the sound of that which is analogous to fireworks. And it is designed to monitor. It occurs with simultaneity, third parties engaging in that same demonic conduct. It's a demonic feature whereby they're able to stalk with activity, meaning follow my movements, that which is inaudible to the human ear. And they do this as a group, a unified group acting in concert. Just as the state stalks with light, the state stalks directly and vicariously with audible activity and visible activity and or sensational activity. That's how you monitor with communication devices, and it is also demonic activity by a group. 6TXN 974. KAR 713. 6UZH 942, 6XBD 020. It's 11:39 a.m. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here in front of Iglesia del Cuerpo de Cristo. The nearest address I'm seeing is 221, so that would be right in front of the Omnitrans bus stop, across from American Legion, across from Fiesta Motors. 221 East Holt Boulevard, and I'm standing at 220 West Holt Boulevard, and I'm gonna take a picture of the state's fake sun as it remains over me. This is mutually exclusive to where I captured it as I'm at the Stater Brothers, which is west of this location. Okay, so this is everything that I just continue to document. This is monitoring, and this is why you document all the third parties that are monitoring with the state. They're just patrolling and crossing paths. This is Federal Group Stalking Mind. They're just patrolling paths systematically. As I walk past all these businesses, while they're inside of there, they're all in relevant position while you're in motion. This is how the state monitors you. License plate 00250X1. License plate 5ZKWT96.
They're just patrolling past. That's P.O.C. and that's the state's fake sun over this building right in front of me, which is impossible to also coexist with the sun. Assuming it was the actual sun, it is not. And this is why I'm speaking to that which is impossible to coexist. It is literally remaining in its zenith. That means you're looking at it as it is directly above you, centered above you, as I'm moving east on Holt Boulevard. That's P.O.C. It's 11:40 a.m. This is the creation of audible activity as I'm crossing the street under the state's fake sun. It is a means of monitoring. We've got a third party. I'm going to get all these license plates because they represent third parties in relevant position, but I want to get this one that's right out here in relevant position, 5X14089. Okay. This is a very common means, third party stalking with noise as I'm in motion. That's called stalking with activity, keeping me surrounded with activity. Third parties patrolling on Holt, third parties patrolling on Laurel and surrounding, specifically because I walked down this street yesterday, so they've got it covered with cars and their creation of this noise. The state uses also this amplification of the sound of the train, and they usually engage in stalking with light right here at this street at Laurel and Holt Boulevard. This is P.O.C. 7XFV187, 7LTG335, 8SDD869, 7YKK955, 6HXM327, 7HWN204, that's JYJL916. This is the paper plate, BH11D43, 8NEW933. Crossing path, driving past right now, 8NGM831. Crossing path right now, coming park right beside me, 8REP948, 8FRG206, 7LFT079. Let's see. I am over here at the light activity on the back of this building. This is R&R Service Documental Income Tax. This is on Holt Boulevard and right at the corner of Laurel. The nearest address, 201 West Holt Boulevard. 8SMM774. 6LWC052. No, this is P.O.C. That is P.O.C. The building alarm is going off and they are occupied inside of the building. They're there. It's sounding just like third parties use their car alarms and sounding as I'm in motion. And I believe I got all these license plates already. You got a third party group stalker sitting in her car in the same parking lot. Another one through license plates that I already read sitting in their cars while that building alarm is going off. This is 202 Holt Boulevard. Singular Insurance Services, Flores Barbershop. This is P.O.C. And these are the buildings that are on the opposite side of this building. That's where that alarm is going off. And they're sitting in their vehicles in relevant position. 6XFV187. And you've got 7LTG335 sitting in their vehicles. The state is flying over right now at 11:47. Third party group stalker to my side. Black male, the same one engaged in harassing me when I don't even know him, calling me out of my name as I was documenting the helicopter flying over. I'm gonna get the state flying over right there. This is P.O.C. Third parties crossing path on Holt Boulevard, 12689X2. USPS is crossing path as well. 5FG017, I believe. 8TFC072. And 7GCC453, 6FIP527, 8TBP987. All right, and the one that I said that came, they're just sitting on the curb with light activity. They're just sitting in their cars over here, and this is why you document. This is what group stalking is, by the way. 8GFY224. That's a paper plate with a U-Haul on the back of it. I'm on Laurel in between a pawn shop and between this little plaza over here where the building alarm is just going off over and over again. 548NY, that's a handicap plate. And again, the ones that I said were pulling up, they're just sitting in their car with their headlights on. 8REP948, that's P.O.C. That building alarm going off, creating light activity and amplified audible activity while they're all sitting in their cars. 6LFT079. 8FJX584. Dietz Tow. Parked over here as well. Let me see. 5UGV289. They're just having a monitoring field day with the loud alarm as it goes off, providing the ease of audible activity while they're all surrounding in relevant position under the state's fake sun. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. It is right here over Laurel. Understand that building alarm, that light activity under the fake sun is P.O.C. of Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring. Every license plate representing a third party in relevant position. 7 ROS 912 4ZS Z049. I don't know if I read this one already. 8 PIA 231. And also understand they're also, not only are they engaged in monitoring me, they're engaged in, because I leave my my belongings on the sidewalk, they're monitoring my property as well. So they have to man my luggage carrier, and they're also manning me, keeping me surrounded. So understand that. There's a dual interest there. And that's P.O.C. as they're driving up, just sitting around in their cars, sitting in the parking lot, while this blaring alarm is going off at the same time that I arrive at the street, which is stalking with activity. While the state is stalking with light, acting vicariously through these third parties who are group stalkers. That's what monitoring conduct is. And it's not a coincidence that the state's fake sun is directly over the street at Laurel. That's where I'm at, Laurel and Holt. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of another plane. This is Amazon Prime, flying directly over the building. It's 11:50 a.m. I'm gonna get another picture of that. P.O.C. Okay. Right here where the state's fake sun is, that's what I took a picture of. Where the plane is, where I captured an image, the state's fake sun is right here as well. P.O.C. Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring. 11:50 a.m. SWR 574. If you hear that door close, at the same time I begin speaking, at the same time I'm pressing the button on the phone to start recording again. She's sitting in her car in a Toyota Camry going into 123 Holt Boulevard, waiting for my arrival to create activity as this third party right in front with light activity sitting in their car. That's group stalking. Stalking with activity, stalking with light, stalking with their presence. 6BRU051, another creeper coming around, parking right next to the same venue as I stop and documenting 8HKL408. RQY772, 5TPD263, 8TED378. Third party group stalkers on foot, in the alley. All of them crossing path, just without a license plate. This is group stalking on foot. This is P.O.C. 6WPA108. I'm going. You're the one that's monitoring. Don't be rude. 6WPA108. Go ahead, because you're monitoring. You're in the wrong, honey, and you're documented as such. 6WPA108, again, crossing path as I'm stopping, right? As I stop motion. That's the key to keep surrounded as long as I keep in motion, but once I stop, or once I begin any change, that understanding beginning motion and stopping motion is called change and activity. And that's the simultaneity with which they engage in their presence and engage in creating activities. 7MTK819, traffic is at a standstill right now. Traffic on Euclid and Holt under the state's fake sun. 32812F2. 3SGJ517, 7HWK522, 5FGW867, 8CF V128, 8DWH 307, 8T18 375, 8SKS 031. 7MYP 875, 8TBP 987, 6HRB 053, 8DMG 641. So 8DMG 641, 7YF 019, I believe, substantially similar. And 7HNA 224. This is at Euclid and Holt where I'm at, and I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture. It's 11:54 a.m. And the State's Fake Sun is right here at the intersection of Euclid and Holt, as I have walked what is east on Holt Boulevard. Third parties in relevant position in traffic, 7PGW 732, 6ZHS 413. That's P.O.C. I'm standing right here alongside as traffic is patrolling past. They're all systematically monitoring. 11:54 a.m. and this is the State's Fake Sun directly over this intersection. I'm facing Chuck's Cash. I'll go ahead and take a picture of that first. And I'm gonna take a picture now of the State's Fake Sun. This is right here in Anderson. I'm gonna take a picture of what is 150 East Holt, because this is the building. That's 150 East Holt, and the museum is right behind it, okay? All right, this is P.O.C. That's Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring, and this is yet another systematic breakdown of what the state is engaged in: stalking with light, stalking by activity, and stalking by entity. That's what third parties do. And that's all what they're doing, and that is being in the path. And you've also got Ontario Police providing another example of what Jason Knighton and L. Keys were engaged in, which was federal group stalking and monitoring, the same time that they're arriving, engaging in a fake traffic stop. Whether they actually gave out a ticket or not, they're engaged in monitoring, engaged in criminal facilitation, and using the functions of what outwardly appears as their ordinary duties for purposes of stalking, that is being present in the path, while the state is also flying over my head in an airplane. That's exactly what Jason Knight and L. Keys did. That's P.O.C. This is license 77JK455. 77JK455. They're crossing path on Euclid and Holt where I'm at right now, and I just wanted to go ahead and make sure that I clarify, if it is not already abundantly clear. There is no room for questioning. There never has been, but there is no reasonable questioning as to how this is not the sun. And all of the places just going up and down Holt Boulevard. And the state's fake sun is present because 8DWY224 is in relevant position monitoring me systematically with communication devices. Every single last one of them represent a communication device. And this is how the state is able to just systematically monitor you at all times, at all places. Inside of any private residence, inside of any public place, inside of any private space, such as a bathroom. They're all in relevant position, and walls and ceilings and construction is no physical obstruction, no hindrance to monitoring with communication devices, especially when the state is engaged in concentrated light and engaged in amplification of audible activity. All right, and also when they're engaged in substantial stalking conduct, following you to any area where you are, conspicuously and inconspicuously. And that's what group stalking is by definition. It is 11:57 a.m. And this is the state's fake sun. I'm not laughing because it is funny, because being targeted by a government is not funny at all. But I'm laughing because it's so pathetic, and that I have literally outlined every single aspect of the criminal system that the state of California is engaged in. And I've documented hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of third parties that are in this form, either by name, by address, or by license plate, or by their image. And this is that which I have been engaged in for a very long time, because the state has been engaged in pronouncing its stalking and monitoring, which is the communication of a threat upon becoming aware of it, for a very long time, since I became aware of it in 2018. It's 11:58 a.m. This is the P.O.C. And this is documentation of the state stalking as of 8 a.m. And just comparing the locations where I have documented it. Just go back 24 hours ago, what I just published on Facebook on my profile, in the comment section where I'm updating, because I want you to keep a visual of what the state is engaged in, which is flying over me by helicopter, which is what it was doing all night long while I was sleeping at the museum, flying over and over in circles by helicopter, which is monitoring conduct. But I want to bring something to your attention. The state is aware of the fact when the communication devices are on or off. the circling above me repeatedly, while it is under the impression that I am not conscious of it while I'm sleeping, and not the parts where they do that while I'm awake. I'm talking about the state is engaged in doing this conduct while it is under the impression that I'm sleeping. That is this exceeds mere criminal activity. It is demonic. There's a satanic aspect to what the government is engaged in flying over me repetitiously in circles over the night, throughout the night, as I fall asleep, and then once I wake up, or so they perceive as such, because it stops with simultaneity to my becoming conscious of the sound of the amplified helicopter flying in circles over the museum. Let me get this license plate, 5KPU 749. Yeah. And there, I just want to be clear that, I'm clearly not on a communication device when I'm sleeping, right? I'm clearly not in operation of it. They know when it's on and off. And you know this because what I document is the simultaneity of activity. This is a pattern. This is how you are aware of what they are aware of. Their activity, their conduct follows me. It is stalking with activity. It is stalking with light. It is stalking with their presence. Okay, so I'm clearly not engaged in this activity, and the state is engaged in flying over me in circles in like some ritual. In a helicopter, and I just want to be clear. I want us to present this to you. Understand that this exceeds criminal conduct. There is a demonic aspect to it. There's some sort of voodoo, witchcraftery. I'm making up a word there because it is beyond just the criminal monitoring, and the criminal monitoring is unprecedented alone. But I want to be clear. What the state is engaged in exceeds monitoring conduct. I'm sleeping. I don't have a phone in my hand. They know when it's powered on and off, and yet they're engaging in flying over my head. This is born out of an inherent hatred, right? I understand this. An inherent disdain. I get that. But also there is an intrinsic level of Satanism, and that's what I also am concerned with making sure I clarify, because that is what it is. And every single third party, 8TFJ452 included, that's just crossing path, they share that same hatred. And understand, it is malicious. Okay, so that hatred appears in the form of your own. I don't want to call it a mother, because I believe that the term mother and father are terms of art. Anyone can procreate. Okay, that doesn't make you a parent. That makes you a person with the physiological capability to bear a child. And being a parent includes much more than that. So I want to be clear with regard to this satanic aspect, this demonic feature. It is malicious. And so it appears as this hatred manifests itself not as raw disdain. It does not appear that way. That would not be clever at all, okay? That would not be very persuasive or powerful or useful at all for the criminal purposes of a public entity that wants to monitor and ultimately seek to systematically deconstruct your life. And so you're talking about that which is going to appear as literally a parent, a mother, the one who bore you, appearing before you, coming around you, bearing gifts, while engaged in monitoring you in concert with every other person around, in concert with the very government. Okay? While they are also engaged in defaming you. And then outwardly conducting themselves as though they intend the best, and everything about their conduct is what you are to focus on, because that speaks louder than any vain, superficial words that they utter. You need to understand this. This is what Tracy Banks is engaged in. This is a psychopath. Psychopaths derive pleasure from the suffering of another individual, and they do so not openly. They understand what is expected of them in society. They understand the difference between right and wrong, and what is illegal, and what is criminal, and what looks good and what does not look so good. They understand this. They're engaged in that which is egregious criminal activity, what is unnatural and demented demonic activity, entirely maliciously intended to target a person while conducting themselves as though no such thing is occurring whatsoever. And this is how the system is designed, right? With regard to the legislation that I have, that I advocate, that I have written personally because of my up and close personal experience with regard to this government that is engaged in what is satanic. It's satanic, criminal targeting. It is designed to address every demonic feature because the state engages in criminal activity, and it is premised upon reliance on the ordinary ignorance and naivete, or the presumptive naivete of the everyday person that's going to assume that no officer of the court is going to use their license to break the law or to engage in targeting some random American citizen. Or no police officer is engaged in stalking. For what purpose would they be stalking you? Why? You know, these are common sense questions. Common sense, okay? These are things, as I was documenting, that I ask myself. Why would this be occurring? Why? What? Okay, what is this about? But the documentation is the documentation, period, okay? The facts are the facts, period. All right. I and no other targeted individual owes an explanation for the wicked conduct of another individual or of another entity. You just don't own it. You don't. And so all you do is you prove up the facts. You prove up the facts. So, and this is all you do. But I just want to be clear. The state flying over in a helicopter while I'm asleep. I'm clearly not in operation or in possession of my phone. Understand, this exceeds mere criminal activity and criminal targeting. There is something demented about this group that is engaging in the system. That is engaging in the system while they listen to me utter out the words of their criminal activity. Right? There's a mental disconnect. Not any disconnect that in any way removes criminal responsibility, because they are abiding by specific elements, a specific behavioral pattern, in order to engage in systematic monitoring, okay? And they are engaged in hovering, obsessive. I mean, down to if I breathe differently, you got a third party either close to me or sounding like they're far away. Somebody's gonna honk their horn, rev their engine. Somebody's gonna drop some loud. They are engaged in ongoing, obsessive, demented stalking conduct. Okay, as a group, it's not normal. It is not normal. The fact that I'm showing you how the state is stalking with a literal fake sun, who thinks of that? I'm letting you know that is straight out of the depths of hell. This is satanic in every single way. It is 12:06 p.m. And that was documentation of the state's fake sun in the same places that I captured it 24 hours ago at different times, and over the coin laundry, a different venue, again mutually exclusive to where I captured at 10:52 a.m. over the museum, over the Stater Brothers, directly in front of me, above me at the east entrance of that venue, and then at the same location at 10:53 a.m. where it's supposed to be over the museum, I capture it at that venue. All you have to do is look at the documentation. Omnitrans, we'll end it here, is monitoring me like every other third party. 87, license plate 1535754, light activity under the state's fake sun, engaging in P.O.C. Number 1364, that is P.O.C. It is currently 12:17 p.m. and I just want to complete it with where I'm at is at Ontario Town Square, and again, I just captured the images of where the state's fake sun was over the intersection. It has moved its way up north to be directly over this bench, and again, as I turn off my phone, it getting brighter. These are third-party group stalkers aligning the path on Euclid Avenue. And again, this is just right here next to me. They're engaged in monitoring, not only at this venue, but also at Wells Fargo, using it as a means of relevant positioning. Let's just go on ahead and go on up one. Okay, this is where, right, it's supposed to be up there at 646 West Holt, mind you. So just pay attention to the little details of what the state is engaged in. Literally following me, and that's why it cannot be consistent, because it has to follow where I go. And that is a cloud path that I'm gonna take a picture of. The state is flying over by a plane. That's what that is, creating that cloud path right under the state's fake sun. Okay, it's in relevant position to me, just like the state's fake sun is directly over me. License plate 8TBP987, crossing path right now on Euclid Avenue. 6Y8 3369 with the rest of that group that's crossing path, monitoring under the fake sun while I remain at this venue. 8MCF 871. They're on cameras at Wells Fargo, crossing path. USPS number 7204558, monitoring with the rest of the third-party group stalkers. They represent the state. 79859W2, 5VNT142, 7NYN815, 6HJF345, 7U98513, 8HCS096, 4FSR391, 7NWV843 are substantially similar. In case I didn't say this, 6HJF345, 6TEZ. 6TTEZ208. Understand Wells Fargo in relevant position. Doesn't matter what you're buying, doesn't matter what ATM you're standing at, doesn't matter what book you're checking out of the library while you're in relevant position, and the state is monitoring by your presence in the path, which is vicariously stalking on behalf of that public entity. This is POC. 8THD 295. Referencing the security cameras at Wells Fargo, because they're all monitoring. They're monitoring inside of Wells Fargo as well. State's fake sun beaming right over it. 1560780, number 9147, City of Ontario dumpster truck. The security guard in relevant position for Wells Fargo, in relevant position standing outside along the brick wall outside of the building, in relevant position monitoring with the rest of the third-party group stalkers at my arrival to Ontario Town Square. License plate 7BIR 094, 7WRN 620, 8TSY 466, 4XTD 297. This is POC. And these are just the ones that are at Wells Fargo. On the side, understand they're monitoring at Big and Tall is closed down, but the relevant positioning across the street and these business plazas. Let me get this, 7LBT024. Across the street at the Western Wear store that's open, Newsboy Books, Euclid Family Dentistry, Ooh La La. They're all relevant. They're all in relevant position, and it expands beyond the street as well. All up and down inside of Wells Fargo, of course, Ontario Town Square, the Lemon Apartments, this is Euclid Avenue that I'm at. I'm at in between C Street and B Street where Ontario Town Square is, and I'm just speaking to what is relevant positioning for purposes of monitoring with communication devices, and it spans a radius, and you can also gauge that based on the state's conduct by plane. The state engages in circling around me in helicopter on a constant basis, and this is inaudible, and it flies at a distance. It doesn't have to be directly over me, even though it engages in that psychopath conduct of flying over my head while creating audible activity because it is monitoring with third-party group stalkers all around me. It is 8CPC 566 or 556. It is speaking to the distance with which you can be while they are monitoring with communication devices. The state is at quite a distance. This is the state that is stalking by police. They don't have to be right here in front of me at Euclid Avenue, although they engage in that stalking conduct, showing that they are psychopaths. But they don't have to. They can be at a distance, and this is what they do. This is the purposes of amplification as well, where the state is capable of sounding sirens while it is not physically present, but amplification creates that targeting audible impact. And this is also serving the purpose with stalking with light, keeping a sun on you, and that serves for purposes of monitoring beyond for a distance, spanning a radius. Monitoring with communication devices in violation of 18 U.S.C. section 42A. Communication devices are a means of interstate commerce. The state is also using the internet. The state is using planes, helicopters, and trains. Okay, I've documented Omnitrans as a bus line. Metrolink, that's a train. I have documented the state stalking with its literal fake sun remaining in my window in transit on the Metrolink. While they're engaged in bathroom monitoring, while the state is remaining in my window in airplanes and helicopters. Riding on the Metrolink to Los Angeles, California, where the state engaged in flying over my head, flying in circles around me in a helicopter, flying over the streets, flying all around me in airplanes, okay? Where the state's fake sun was directly over my head at Broadway. Broadway and, I believe it was Broadway and Alvarado, or I don't recall, but I know I was standing at the corner, I want to say College and Broadway for some reason, but I published this documentation on my YouTube page. This is all that which has already been established. At every place that I go, the state is engaged in stalking in all manners, stalking with light, stalking with activity, and stalking by entity. And by entity, that is in reference to the state directly. Police, fire, ambulance, plane, and helicopter. That is the state. That's the public entity using its devices for stalking. Okay, and it is stalking because it's monitoring. The state is stalking by entity also through the vicarious presence of the people of the state of California. That is every single person in relevant position that is in your path. That's what relevant position is speaking to. That is literally the group stalking. They remain in perpetual presence in your path as one unified group, acting to maintain activity, acting to maintain light in concert with that state that is monitoring you. And it is with the criminal motive and with the criminal intention to monitor with communication devices. That is what federal group stalking and monitoring is. And it is demonic activity. All right. So this is the breaking down of that which is a legal concept never before addressed by federal legislation. It is also that which needs to be, broken down as far as the context. This is no ordinary criminal activity. This is satanic criminal activity, but in no way impervious whatsoever from federal prosecution at all. At all. Everything that is rooted in its demonic context is that which is objectively revealed in evidence by factual occurrences and subject to prosecution under federal law. I'm just speaking to that which is the invisible influence acting over a government, acting over an entire people. And understand, when a government is engaged in monitoring and is literally commissioned the people of that state to monitor with it, the state has literally engaged in what is a quote-unquote criminal contract with them. These people are vicariously present on behalf of the state. So the state is a stalker, okay? Every single person in your path, every single person in your path is stalking vicariously on behalf of that government. They are stalkers. They're not acting individually. They are one group maintaining presence all together. One may leave, and guess what? Another comes and does the exact same thing. It's called group conduct. It's group stalking and monitoring. The public entity, the state, is the one that's stalking you. All right, and all of this has already been broken down. It's already been, this is already established, every single element. I am showing the ways in which how you document, how you recognize what is demonic activity, and how you prosecute third parties and that public entity. And how you recognize the ways in which a public entity is engaging in not only monitoring, that is through egregious, hovering, obsessive, that is characteristic of a psychopath level of stalking, okay? And also the ways in which you are violating a targeted individual through the criminal activity of monitoring. Yes, sexual violence by criminal monitoring with communication devices. And it is exceptionally sexually violent because it is group conduct. They are all monitoring together. They are all listening and violating together, right? And supposedly, inconspicuously, this is supposed to be secret conduct that is not known. And you're understanding you're understanding and seeing the ways in which monitoring with communication devices is exceptionally violent conduct of a sexual nature as well. Sexually motivated conduct while you're monitoring. And this is by a government. And this is that which is a government that is commissioning the people of the state that are all around monitoring with it. And this is that same demonic influence over every single individual over the same government. They're just wearing different name tags, if you will. Okay? That's all that it is. And this stalking with light conduct, that is straight up and down demonic activity. That is demonic. And that is the state using this sort of demonic conduct to monitor an American citizen, serving no legitimate purpose whatsoever. And even aware of the fact, monitoring the documentation of its own criminal activity, seeking to criminally obstruct the prosecution of its own self.
And this is egregious level of criminal activity by a public entity. It's 12:28 p.m. and I'm at Ontario Town Square, and I just wanted to take a picture of that so you can see how the state's fake sun moved from the intersection of Euclid and Holt. I mean, let alone you're talking about coin laundry and comparing to Stater Brothers, and then compare that to just what I documented yesterday, January 1st, 2021, at the same time, what the state is doing with this light source, okay? It is following me. That's what it's doing. And this is why it is incapable of being consistent. You can't, when you're stalking someone, because I am the leader. I'm the one that's leading. They're following me. That is stalking me. All right. So this is just revealing the ways in which the state is stalking with light. And that is through the psychopath tactic of a literal fake sun remaining directly over me. And what I captured in the image while I'm here at Ontario Town Square is how the fake sun goes from Euclid Avenue. Understand where I captured it at above Checking Cash at the corner of Euclid and Holt. That is not at the same location directly behind this bench where I'm sitting at Ontario Town Square. The state's fake sun literally moving up the state, moving its light source directly behind this bench to remain on me. Okay, so if I have to break that down, then I'll do that, because that's what that is. Being at that location at Checking Cash is not going to result in the state's light source or the sun, the state's fake sun, whatever you want to call it. It is not the sun being directly behind this bench, being directly over this Ontario Town Square. That is a necessary migration north up Euclid Avenue, right where I am located. Okay, and this is the conduct that the state engages in constantly, and that is P.O.C. And this is for the purpose of monitoring with communication devices by all the third parties that surround. The license plates representing third parties that are doing what every single last one of them as one group are doing. Every single last one of them are doing the exact same thing. I'm giving you a sample of third parties as they are in front of me, and I'm documenting their identity via license plates and or image. It's 12:29 p.m. and that's P.O.C. All right, this is P.O.C. It's 2:33 p.m. I've been sitting at the same venue, Ontario Town Square, where they are monitoring on a massive scale via traffic that is engaged in the demonic stalking with activity conduct. Literally, as I turn on my phone, like I just pointed out to the cameras at the venue, they engage in, a third party specifically engaged in revving their engine with simultaneity to my cell phone that I turned on. That's the stalking with activity conduct. This is a license plate that's been in relevant positions. This is a third party that's here, 7EAZ986. 8SNN369. Third parties are right now at Wells Fargo exiting that venue in a Nissan SUV, black, driving what is north on Euclid and turning west onto C Street, and that is P.O.C. 6WDP173 898ZP, that's a handicap plate. 8SNN369 6F12958. This is 6TTP405 7WK S856 PH02TOY 6SZD593. These are just the third parties in the immediate vicinity with license plates along Euclid Avenue. The entire time that I'm here, this is traffic that's patrolling. 8STX378, monitoring with every other third party the entire time that I've been sitting here, and they're engaging in ongoing stalking with activity. What the cameras show as they are patrolling passing traffic, as they're going to Wells Fargo, engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring with the state that has engaged in constant flight over me in all manner of direction by helicopters, by small government planes, and by the commercial sized planes. In addition to that, the state's light source remains over the venue, 8DTK171, engaging in P.O.C. under the same factual circumstances. This is my turning on my phone to engage in more P.O.C. And I'm also using, understand, the surveillance cameras at third-party facilitating venue Wells Fargo that is monitoring in relevant position. Third parties using the ATM as they're in relevant position. This is P.O.C. and I am using the cameras right over the ATM because they are all monitoring. The state's fake sun moving with me as I move. This is license plate, let me see, on the opposite side of the building. In relevant position, sitting in the cars, 7GVH 025, 7VUN751, 7CVK494, 22248P1, and 8KGM567.
This is P.O.C. While I am sitting outside, and I want to go ahead and note the state's fake sun remaining over the venue. And again, the Wells Fargo is located at 240, that would be 240 North Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. This is, let me get a license plate of this group that's coming down. 6F12958, sitting in a car in relevant position, stalking. 37672B2. They're driving north on Euclid Avenue, crossing path right now. You'll see an African-American male on a bike with a black beanie, dark jacket on. He's engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring as well. Loitering in relevant position on the grounds at Ontario Town Square. This is crossing path as I'm in motion. This is keeping me surrounded. And while I'm sitting at the venue, the state's fake sun, the light source, remains at the venue. This is P.O.C. and I'm going to go ahead and take an image of that. This is 2:37 p.m. And I'm going to be specific with regard to the placement of the state's fake sun. It is directly over Euclid Avenue, aiming light on the same area, and it is, with regard to its physical location, it is what would be from Euclid Avenue, from Ontario Town Square. It is west of Euclid Avenue, so it's directly above. There's this business on the corner that is available. It's a vacant business suite. Across the street from it looks like a flower shop, or Gabby's Furniture, now open. The state's fake sun is right here over this venue, aiming light. The state's fake sun has not gone anywhere. Want to be clear on that, and I just want to be clear with regard to its physical location, with regard to B Street and Euclid Avenue. It is positioned directly above this intersection. So you could say basically it's right over B Street, and it's positioned relevant to Euclid Avenue. It is west of the north side of Euclid Avenue. Okay, so I want to be clear on that, because as you migrate, as I go to a different place, what you have is the state's fake sun migrating with me, and this is what I'm telling you with regard to where I'm at and my location. It is impossible, and you can see the way that the state is moving its light source. I'm just being very, very specific with regard to giving a picture. I'm literally providing images and video, but I'm being very specific even in my verbiage and description of where this light source is and how the state is moving it in order to create concentrated light activity on me, on the surfaces around me, for purposes of massive monitoring. What you're going to see on the cameras is that the third-party group stalker in a security guard outfit at Ontario Town Square, who engages in crossing path with the third-party bum on the bike, with the third-party old lady that is engaging in crossing a path, the third party that I recited his license plate, he's sitting in his car. They're all engaging in crossing a path because I'm getting up and I'm moving and I'm walking around, and so they are engaging in that group presence as I am moving around. I'm going to go ahead and take a picture. It's 2:39 p.m. and like I said, the state's light source does not go anywhere, and being at this location west of the north side of Euclid Avenue is mutually exclusive with being over Stater Brothers, which is much more west of this block at San Antonio and Holt. So this is not the sun. This is already established. This is just common sense breaking down of what it is I'm documenting, and I'm going to go ahead and take an image of what is the light that is aimed on my position at Ontario Town Square. It is 2:40 p.m. and that's P.O.C. It is 2:43 p.m. and the state is currently flying directly over in a small white plane, which I'm taking a picture of. It's flying diagonally over the Ontario Town Square, over me at the bench where I'm at, where again I just took a picture of the state's fake sun, 2:43 remaining at this venue, and the state flying over, and that's a government plane, not a commercial sized plane. It's a small white plane with a skinny body and long white wings, amplified in volume of course, and it is flying directly over diagonally. So it's flying from like the amphitheater location diagonally across the town square. That's in relevant position directly above me, as I am in operation of my phone monitoring in concert with the third parties that surround. That's 2:44 p.m. That's exactly what was occurring a couple moments ago as I turned on my phone in order to capture that occurring, and then capturing the state's fake sun as it remains at this venue, which is west of Euclid Avenue, the north side of Euclid Avenue, concentrating light onto right in front of me at the bench. And it's 2:44 p.m. That's POC. Okay, it is 2:55 p.m. This is after walking across the street from Ontario Town Square. So that's literally on the opposite side of Holt Boulevard. I'm in between Plum and Sultana. These are third parties that are patrolling in traffic. This is a third party that crosses path right here in front, monitoring with the state. And this is the state's fake sun right here at Plum. And let me take a picture of the street sign. Because you need to understand, the state's fake sun is now directly in alignment to my position at this corner of Plum and Holt Boulevard. So you can understand with regard to the literal migration that the state just engaged in, where it was at the intersection of B Street and Euclid. This is the migration south for it to be directly over what is Brian's Automotive. You're looking at the Andy's Burgers. And this is while I walk from Ontario Town Square, and I just captured the image. This is a necessary migration south in order to be at this position at the corner, and that's what I'm capturing at 2:56 p.m. This is minutes later. This is called stalking with light, and that is why the state is doing so, because it's monitoring, and I'm going to document third parties that are in relevant position monitoring with it. That is license plate 8PRU453, I believe. Substantially similar. They're at the intersection in relevant position at the traffic light at Holt and Plum. I'm going to get these third parties here in traffic. This is systematic monitoring. USPS, the vehicle on the number on the car is 0326137, monitoring. And 6NKM 860, 7GSC 566, 8RGB 543. DAT6LTR, 7SMG 314, 8JUV 790, 4RQT 294, 3SR 417, that's UPS 1110412. Substantially similar. They're all crossing path right now, driving east on Holt Boulevard under the state's fake sun. 7ZZF 390. This is a group that just crossed path in traffic under the state's fake sun, okay? Relevant positioning inside of the Andy's Burgers drive-thru, where the state is literally over this venue right now as I walk. I've already captured the state's fake sun over B&G Plaza, literally over Shiro's Liquor at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is absolutely impossible light activity, and this is what I mean with regard to the cumulative evidence of the state stalking with light, because it is monitoring. And so it is, again, not only is this relevant with regard to the state being at this venue in the morning time, and this is comparable with regard to every other venue where I document it. This is literally over the museum as well. You have to understand transit is right behind Holt. This is the 150 carport. It's right next to the museum. This is all the same venue, and this is the state's low-hanging, hovering light source over the area as I move, and that is distinct where I captured it in picture, where it's concentrating light on me at that bench, and that is distinct from its position where I've migrated now to to Plum and Holt. That's the impossible light activity. That is stalking with light, while the state is stalking by aircraft and stalking vicariously by third parties who surround. 8NKN 170. That's 7VLT 874. Understand that is intentional activity by a third-party group stalker as they're crossing path. Everything that you're hearing is intentional creation of activity. 8BJB 006 703 77C1, and also the way that you know that is because it occurs as I begin movement. I started walking after standing still. Okay, that's called stalking with activity. We're gonna get BEBK 837, 8LTN 665. That's a plane flying over me here at Andy's Burgers. Let's get this. This is, it's 3 p.m. on the dot. The state flying over in another small aircraft, just like I just captured at
Ontario Town Square a couple moments ago. Let's see if I can get close enough to get that. Where did it go? Oh, the state is also flying. Let me get this cloud path. That's a plane flying over inaudibly, creating the cloud path over, and then that was a plane that was amplified in volume, flying directly over Andy's Burgers. And I do not see it anymore. Okay, but that is, what time is it? 3 p.m. flying directly over me where I'm standing beside the drive-thru at Andy's Burgers, armed with cameras. This is wonderful. This is documentation of the same conduct as I move. And let me get a close-up picture. This is the state's fake sun, and understand that I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of the intersection. This is Transit and Plum. This is a necessary migration from where I just captured the state's fake sun. This is literally the state over the same area in the morning where I'm at the museum in the middle of the day. This is 3 p.m., 3:01 p.m. And in addition to that, it is feet away from the B&G Plaza where the state's fake sun will also be over. And this is the same venue where it is present at 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning, as I've already documented. This is what third-party group stalkers do. They are present in relevant position while the state creates the environment for monitoring. I think I already stated 8BJB006. And so that was the sound of an amplified plane flying over, which I did not get an image of, but I did take a picture of the cloud path, and I put that in quotation marks because it's not a real cloud, but it creates a cloud path as the state is flying over me. So that's 2 planes that are flying over me as I'm walking on Plum and getting these license plates of these third parties in the drive-thru. You have a third party that turns the corner at the same time that I'm turning the corner. This is the stalking conduct by third parties, 7CCA 628. This is license plate 7ZDX153. And I just want to make sure that I got this one in total. This is a big truck that starts with 70377C1, just in case I did not recite that one. 8FWM782. This is 5ZLP060, 5K44164, 8KCK913, 6GXM741, 5WGW921, 8TPZ734, 7ZDK153, 6MCS178, 8FSE040, 8NAX140, 7NNV535, 7VTJ381, 8GBF801, 6PEB015, 6MZG367, DTHSTR7, 6EIC532, 5PFG742, 3XSX050, 8CCN678, that's the one blasting the music in the drive-thru. This is intentional activity creation under the state's fake sun. 6RXU956, 5YCE684, 7UGT103, 8NFE006, 7YYK171, 8DNN779, 7WGK698, 5TLJ461, 6CMB653, 8NAX140, in case I did not get that. They're coming behind me right now. 7YFW781, 8BAF442, 8C88779, 8HJT686, 8HAN921, 7ZDZ684, 6KHL798, 7BSN814, 8NMH420, 7RGX723, 4VGN979, 8H93437, 7GTN433, 42593B1. Third party on transit, parks in alignment to me, drives forward, reversing backwards. This is relevant positioning under the state's fake sun, driving a red SUV or CRV type vehicle. I'll go over here just to be thorough and get this license plate as well. That sound of a popping firecracker, that's audible activity as I'm in motion toward this part of the parking lot. They're monitoring. License plate
5WSB 144, 8BTJ 812, 6AAJ 024, 6EXE 336, 5AWE 402. By the way, these are group stalkers sitting in their cars. 6EXE 336 sitting in a car on the backside of transit in relevant position. State's fake sun moving as I move around this venue right now. Again, that's 5AWE 402. 3XSX 050. 7YGW 411. So that's actually the one that's playing the loud music. 8JSH 464. 8NFC 879, sitting in her car. I reference this a lot in my documentation as SIC, sitting in car. Third-party group stalkers engage in that conduct a lot, sitting in their cars in relevant position as I am in motion on foot. 7PAX 512, it's a means of stalking, and that is being in the path. HGKK007. Let me get another clear picture of the state's fake sun directly over the 150 East Holt parking garage at Plum in Transit. It's 3:06 p.m. This is the state's fake sun directly over the parking garage. And understand, on the opposite side of the parking garage is the museum. These are group stalkers in the skating rink parking lot, patrolling back and forth as I'm walking. These are third parties on foot, okay? Just without license plates. They're parked inside of the parking garage likely. You have a third party group stalker creeping over here and an explorer remaining in relevant position. I'm standing right here. This is being in the path, keeping me surrounded as I'm moving and in operation of a communication device. It is 3:07 p.m. Understand that being in the path is the means by which the state is able to monitor you ceaselessly by that vicarious presence of third parties. And the activity that they engage in externally while they are in your path is legally irrelevant. They are engaged in that which is supposed to appear as though they are not acting in concert in facilitating a government that is monitoring you with communication devices. This is how the system operates. It's called public corruption in plain sight, and it's called demonic activity. Manifest in plain sight. Malicious. That's what it is. This is the same parking lot, B&G Plaza. So like I said, this is the same place where the state's fake sun captured in the middle of this venue. 11 o'clock in the morning, 8 MYC 251. P.O.C. And I'm also referencing the cameras on the venue, at the venue. 5 EKH 652. Impossible light activity off of 8 MYC 251 as it intentionally sits at the corner waiting for me to arrive. That is it driving past, going to Shiro's Liquor. This is a group stalker engaged in P.O.C. and knows very well where I'm going as well. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of that. They were waiting literally at the corner, waiting for me to turn and walk this manner, walk in this direction. That is staying in the path. Ontario Fire crossing path on Holt. They're right now on traffic cameras at Plum and Holt. They will be driving west on Holt Boulevard, acting with each and every one of these. 7HCM 281, 8RQS 896, and 8MYC 251. Like I said, sitting in the middle of the parking lot, waiting for me to come, and then as I arrive, turning and driving past impossible light activity onto the asphalt as they're moving their vehicle and go to Shiro's Liquor. This is what they engage in as I go to any direction, to any venue. 8TIB 314, 4YQE 723. And let me go ahead and get a picture right now. It is 3:09 p.m. This is the state's fake sun over B&G Plaza. .10 p.m. and that is P.O. Okay, again, it's 3:13 p.m. So I have captured images of the state's migration with its light source remaining above me aiming light, concentrated light, as I move from venue to venue. And also you have the common sense application of the impossible migration of this light source, and in addition to this specific venue, the state's fake sun literally over this plaza, in the morning, like I've already stated. And this is also what I documented this morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, the state's fake sun over Stater Brothers, whereas it's also directly in the same location at 12:30 in the afternoon, which if you compare to where we are at right now, B&G Plaza, which is much more east of Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt, it is impossible for the state's fake sun to be, well, it is not impossible for the state's fake sun. It is impossible for the actual sun to be present over B&G Plaza when it is over captured, documented on more than one occasion. I'm just talking about the last 24 hours because this is common sense. I've already proven this point. For it to be over 646 West Holt, not only at 8 o'clock in the morning, but even at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon, and it is directly over B&G Plaza, which is east of that location. Not only is this the light source remaining on the same street, less than a quarter of a mile away, the entirety of the day, for the duration of the day, but it is also that which is in conflict with the natural movement of the sun. This is in all ways what is referred to as impossible light activity, and that is what I propose to be addressed with regard to identifying a public entity monitoring an American citizen. It is characterized by that which is impossible light activity, and that is directly relevant to the criminal elements when a monitoring system is underway, monitoring via communication devices. And that's what they are engaged in. I want to be clear with regard to the stalking conduct. Like I stated, as I am on camera walking through B&G Plaza after walking on transit and getting license plates, as I walk back through the parking lot, this is the stalking conduct of third parties. This is 8MYC251, who was parked in the middle of the parking lot over here as I turn the corner. That is not coincidental presence under a state's fake sun, under the state stalking by fire, driving in front, the fire department driving in front of me, the state stalking flying directly over my head in a plethora of planes, the state stalking with light. This is the stalking conduct that I continue to reference with regard to third parties. This is being in the path, anticipating my arrival, fully aware of my presence, and then going to the venue where this third party is fully apprised of my frequenting. This is engaging in group stalking and monitoring. These are stalkers who are very well acclimated with my routines. That's why they are present. That's why the state is engaging in creating the environment for their presence and the ongoing activity. That is P.O.C. And understand that's common sense knowledge with regard to these third parties engaging in a system with that public entity. Him sitting, and it's on camera, he's just sitting in the middle of the driveway, in relevant position as I approach that pathway that I'm going to walk to get to Shiloh's Liquor at 410, this is Holt Boulevard, so that will be 410 East Holt Boulevard, and then immediately speeding off and going to Shiloh's Liquor store. That's called being in the path. That's called stalking, literally, and that is also called stalking with activity under the state's fake sun, and that's just 8MYC251, who is, again, a third-party group stalker, listening and aware of every word that I'm uttering right now. This is the demonic feature that I'm speaking of, and I want to take a picture of this because I am speaking to that which is a behavioral pattern. And third parties are engaging in stalking with activity because they're aware of my movements, they're aware of what I am doing as I am doing it. Third parties are engaging in stalking by their presence at the place where they are at, in my path, because they are aware of where I am and what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. It is the same with the state on whose behalf third parties are acting. And so what I just captured an image of is this third party group stalker engaging in what is demonic targeting conduct and is listening to, aware of everything that I'm speaking about their criminal activity. This is the psychopath that I'm documenting, okay? And that is the demonic influence operating over the entire group. This same conduct that I'm speaking of with 8MYC251, this same group conduct over everywhere that I go amongst the group. Third parties, the people of the state of California, are a single unified group. Everywhere that you go, P.O.C. is underway. The state is monitoring at all times and at all places. And that is just a vivid illustration of stalking conduct. That's what that is when you are monitoring with communication devices. Stalking is perpetually being present in the path, and that third party was anticipating my presence, walking from transit into the parking lot, directly in the path, sitting in the middle of the parking driveway as I am walking forward, and then speeding forward to the Shiro's Liquor, and then acting in concert with the fire department that crosses path in front of me, and third parties that are patrolling in traffic, such as 8MGV685, with the rest of them. That's P.O.C. It is 3:18 p.m. And again, what I captured yesterday. What I captured yesterday. Oh no, it's not. What I captured yesterday was. Sorry, I'm doing more than one thing. What I captured yesterday with regard to the state's fake sun over the Ontario Town Square, directly over that bench. Understand that requires migration over these buildings, over the streets, in order for it to be where it is right now. At this same time yesterday, the state's fake sun remaining planted over that bench where I'm sitting at, as I published in those images. It remained there the entire time. That is over Euclid Avenue. It is necessarily migrating backwards to be over Andy's Burgers, to be over the 150 parking garage, and to be directly over now, as I move towards Shiro's Liquor, directly over the parking lot. Okay, this is P.O.C. In addition to the fact that this same fake sun is present in the morning when I'm here in the morning. Okay, it's 3:19 p.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, it is January 2nd, 2020. This is ongoing documentation. It's 5:08 p.m. and I have been seated on the same bench where I was in between the senior center and the apartments on Lemon, which is right next to the Ontario Ovitt Family Library. And as I remain following my purchase at Shiro's Liquor, following that substantial documentation of third parties engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring with that state, as I sit on the same bench where I captured the state flying over my head in the helicopter at 5:23 p.m. yesterday, January 1st, 2021. The state engaging in that same conduct, flying over my head in the helicopter, the state flying directly over these apartments, over the city hall, over the senior center, over these apartments on Lemon, at low elevation, creating amplified audible activity because they are monitoring. And the state, while the state is engaging in this patrolling conduct via aircraft, you have the third parties in this residential apartment complex in relevant position, exiting out the door at the same time that the state is flying over me via helicopter. That is the absence of coincidence. That is the demonic malicious conduct. That is what characterizes federal group stalking and monitoring. This is repeated while they are engaging in crossing path. At the same time, the state is repeatedly flying over, sounding its sirens, flying over me in, to be modest, at least 9 commercial-sized planes, and that's audible. The state is flying over and remains engaged in stalking via aircraft in all manner of airplanes, and both audibly and inaudible. When they're creating audible activity, it's because they're creating monitoring activity. In concert with the people of the state of California. So I'm going to document. I'm at these Lemon apartments, and I'll read the address of this apartment complex in a second. 7 YOU 514. You have a group stalker that's sitting in their car in alignment, light activity, and I will get that license plate in a second. They're starting their music right now as I begin movement. That is P.O.C. as well. These are apartments. I believe I want to say the address. I'll look at it in a second. These are the ones that line Lemon. On the opposite side is the Ontario Town Square. This is license 8SBY. He pulls up his trunk. Oh, 8SBY 496. That is P.O.C. Been loitering in relevant position and alignment to me as I'm sitting on the bench. The same. Oh, we documented this one before, that used his car as a means of stalking with activity as I was sitting outside. 104OC. That's a handicap plate. You have license plate AU11N15. That is a paper plate. 7HOH386. 1469611. That's a California exempt vehicle. Number 4178 is on the back of it. And it looks to be like it is a City of Ontario. Perhaps it is for the senior center, I'm not sure, but it's parked in this parking lot, so I'm going to document it. It's 1186318. That's a white van. This is 2J83524. 742XB, that's a handicap plate. 6MQP484. 7MPL725. 793XB, that's a handicap plate. 5MBN577-2214 7S1. 06878T1, and these are the apartments. The address is 280 North Lemon. The state is flying directly over these apartments. This third party that's been sitting, loitering in a relevant position, is crossing path with light activity. Again, that's license plate 8SBY496. License plate 6WZS805, license plate 047ZH, that's a handicap plate, 6UYV740. This is just documenting all of the license plates. That's a means of identifying third parties who are in relevant position. The same thing with any address. The same thing with any image that you can capture of a third party that's in relevant position, which is how the state is able to monitor you. 8DXH217, crossing path with light activity. In the parking lot, already present. Their car is just in motion because they did not enter the parking lot, so they were already sitting in their car, and they're just now driving past as I'm walking through documenting license plates. And I will get a few over here because everywhere you go, oh, I'm sorry. Well, with the I'm dictating what P.O.C. is. Everywhere that I go, monitoring is underway. And so as I am in motion, they're literally monitoring. And also, while I sit on the bench, they are monitoring. They're in relevant position. Monitoring with communication devices spans a distance. Okay. 7ZIL967, 7XAX425. 8NWM532, 8GNT513. Here we go. Let's get this one's crossing path and light activity right in alignment. Third party loitering at the stop sign and is just sitting there with light activity while this one is blinking their lights at me. 7T63045. That is hazard lights at the opposite end of the street. That's called light activity. 8HKG886, 7NQP901, 7N14661. That's audible activity by a third-party group stalker in these apartments. 8EBL671, 5 U.S.C 303. 8SDW763, 7AFW905, 6CKM112, in case I didn't read that, let me get this one crossing. 6PPX671, light activity remaining at the opposite end of the street while this noise is being created above my head in these apartments. That's monitoring conduct. That's light. That's activity. That's P.O.C. Okay. I'm not sure if I read this one. 6YPH238 and 8NWN532. I might have read these. Okay. This is all relevant position to me where I've been sitting and also ongoing activity as I'm in motion right now, documenting license plates. Okay. I am currently on the street, which is B Street, and I am walking north on B Street. The state engages in stalking via aircraft everywhere I go, stalking with its use of sirens. That is the police, the fire, and ambulance. They represent the state directly. And third parties engaging in stalking with light, just like I'm speaking to as I'm documenting third parties at the opposite end of the street, using their hazard lights, remaining in alignment to me. That is monitoring. That is the pattern, not a coincidence. That is the behavioral pattern of third-party group stalkers. I'm at Lemon and B, and the state is flying over by plane. It's P.O.C. It's 5:16 p.m. All right, 7FOB916, license plate AJXT 141, 8 EKP 863, 8 BET 195, this is license 8 JT, oh, I can't see that, they have a dark cover over it. It is 5:32 p.m. I'm documenting third parties engaging in stalking with light. They're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. With regard to nightfall, the state is flying over my head as I'm walking. This would be west alongside of Hope Boulevard. I'm walking west specifically on B Street, and they're engaging in stalking with light activity, lining the path. This is how the state is monitoring as I'm walking. 8 CEG 589. As they're in their vehicles, that's light activity, that's visible activity, that's audible activity, okay? The state using the building lights that are turning on and off at Laurel and B Street. That's exactly what was occurring as well as I was sitting on the bench in front of the senior center where the state flew over my head by helicopter at the same time that a third-party group stalker exits the apartments at 240 Lemon crossing path, and the senior center, a light right in front of me turns on and then it turns off. After about 5 minutes later, that is monitoring conduct, and it is also that which the state intends to catch my intention to strike fear as I continue to document it. 8 KLN 672, sitting in their car. Light activity, relevant positioning, P.O.C. All of them sitting in their cars. This is group stalking. Building lights on and off at the corner of B Street and Laurel, and I'm looking at 210, that would be 210, 212, 214. These businesses along B Street, it's P.O.C. Come on down, I'm gonna document them. This is license 8LPU 946. You have another one that's behind them. They're just standing at the corner with their lights on. This is, let's see, 8SHJ 575, and this one over here standing outside with an iPad in his hand, engaging in monitoring conduct while they're sitting in their cars creating light activity on the street. APNT 977 sitting in their car, crossing path. 6XG U192. The start of ignition is audible activity, and just like I documented when I was leaving the 240 Lemon Street, and I told you in alignment creating light activity with the hazard lights, that's exactly what a group stalker is doing right now on B Street and turning, that is north onto Palm, right in front of me, avoiding being documented. It's P.O.C. I'm going to document this third-party license plate as well. 45491M2. This is called lining the path, and this is what I've described. The state is present vicariously through the people of the state of California. And so as I am walking and it is nightfall, they engage in group stalking conduct, just like they do during the day. And at night, they are engaged in using all manner of audible noise to keep me surrounded by activity, and also with their presence, with light as well, chiefly using their vehicles, and this ominous stalking conduct of sitting in the street, using their hazard lights as they're sitting in their cars as I walk down any street. License plate 6618X, that's a handicap plate on a Ford Focus. You have a third party walking in the dark, patrolling back and forth in front of 310 Urgent Care on my right side, next to Iglesia Adventicia Septimodia. This is P.O.C. and license plate PHII 413 4RVF 750 4TTA 981 7 PRY 582 8 KOY 101 5 NGK 506. Understand, as I'm in motion, I am subject to monitoring ceaselessly, the state creating ongoing activity, and third parties creating ongoing activity. So this is why I'm walking at nightfall on B Street. where most of these businesses are closed, but you have them present, sitting in their cars, creating light activity, and just standing around outside. That's called crossing path. That's called group stalking, remaining in the path as one group. The state is flying over. That is west of me. That's a plane. No, that's a helicopter. It's 5:37. This is exactly why you document third parties that are acting with the state that is stalking in that manner. This is how the state stalks. This is how the state monitors. All right, I did capture an image of that. It is flying in a circle around this perimeter where I'm standing. Excuse me. Same helicopter that was just flying over my head at the senior center. Same helicopter that was flying over my head yesterday as well. This is conduct that occurs on a daily basis. It is nightfall. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that image actually of the helicopter. It is flying at a distance. Let's see. Yeah, it's flying at a distance, and I'm standing in front of 319. This is B Street. So 319 B Street, I guess, in Ontario, across from the Iglesia. That is the helicopter. Again, this is the truth of what I'm documenting. You got a third-party group stalker sitting in their cars, headlights facing me, as third parties are patrolling, driving north on what is going to be, that's Vine. And so a third-party group stalker sitting in their cars in relevant position. And as I stand here, you've got third parties that begin entering the driveway, white aligned to me, 8GRL830. Everywhere I go, activity follows. Okay, this is license plate 6EFS460. All right, that's P.O.C. And I was not able to get a visible picture of the helicopter flying around a circle. Where the location is that the helicopter is flying, it is relevant to where it's going up. That is Vine, that's in front of me. And by in front of me, I mean Vine is west of where I'm standing right now on B Street. And there is another plane. That's third parties just creating audible activity. There we go. That's a plane with a green light. I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, it's 5:40 p.m. I went ahead and captured a video of that. That is the same helicopter, I believe, actually, with green light flying in the opposite direction. So what that is, literally, is pacing back and forth. It's flying around, so it flew, that would be west, and now it's flying back east. It's crossing path repeatedly, okay? On that would be, as I'm walking on B Street, I'm right now at B and Fern, and so it is on my right side. That would be north of me as it is patrolling back and forth, and as third parties are surrounding with light activity, using their vehicles, literally stalking. As I'm in the walking down the street, using their headlights, sitting in their cars, going into the nearest driveway by me in order to engage in crossing the path and creating light activity. This is why you document. This is how you document what is group stalking. It's 5:41 p.m. 7WN162, a plane flying directly over my head, and a plane flying directly in front of me as well. This is license plate 8FAF105. So they are crossing path, they're adding light activity as the state is flying above me, all around in front of me, and in front is, that would be west of me. Vine Street is right here in front of me, so I'm walking on B Street. And this is the helicopter. Listen. And that is P.O.C. Flying directly over me at Vine and B as in boy. I am capturing images of this right now. Alrighty, flying over where I'm standing at Sophia's Barber and Beauty Salon, and on my opposite side is called the First Christian Church. That is while I am walking on B Street, west on B Street, and right in front of me is Vine, so I'm at Vine and B. That's the helicopter around me. That was the airplane on my opposite side. That's federal group stalking and monitoring, and third parties are acting in concert with it. You got a third party group stalker over here sitting in their car. Light activity, as the state is providing audible activity via that helicopter. They're sitting on Vine in relevant position. That is license AU73X14 7545843. That truck just, it's substantially similar to that. It is currently right now, let's see, 5:44 p.m. and that truck is going to be on the traffic cameras at Vine and Holt, driving north on Vine Avenue, crossing path with a third party that is sitting stationary in my path as I'm walking, as the helicopter, by the way, is flying over. 7ZFC 668 7RNZ 779. This is Vine Avenue. They're just patrolling back and forth in their cars. BBHT 917. Let me show you an example of what I mean by group stalking. I just took a picture of what are third parties that are sitting in alignment at the opposite end of the street, just creating light activity with their cars. That's what this third party is doing right here by me, that I recited their license plate with a paper plate. In addition, traffic on Vine is going back and forth patrolling. That's surrounding with light. That is surrounding with their presence. That's monitoring conduct. That's group stalking conduct, being in the path, creating activity while doing so, and while the state is flying over me by helicopter. That is called federal group stalking and monitoring. It is, let's see, current time is 5:45 p.m. (5:02:1). Oh no, I didn't get that whole plate, but there is the helicopter again, patrolling back, remaining in relevant position, while they're all just remaining around with their car, with their headlights on, with their brake lights on, just sitting in the street, sitting in their cars. And that's what I mean by stalking. It is group stalking conduct, and it facilitates a public entity's ability to monitor you at all places and at all times. And it's not a coincidence that they're engaged in this group conduct all around the streets as I'm walking down the path. And this is during the day. The state provides the light, concentrated light everywhere that I go. The state is stalking by light, and at night the group stalkers are stalking with light also, using their vehicles. This is license 6NGX084. I'm on Vine Avenue, walking south on Vine toward Holt Boulevard. And on my right side is the First Christian Church. And do not be deceived by anything resembling something that has to do with religion. Has nothing to do with it at all. You're focused on the elements. And during any quote-unquote church service, guess what's occurring? During any administrative office hours while they're in relevant position, guess what's occurring? Criminal monitoring. It doesn't matter what your status is or what you claim or who you assert yourself to be or what you believe in. This is criminal monitoring, and this is how the state does it. And you know the truth by what they do, not by what they claim verbally. It is 5:47 p.m. and that is P.O.C.